Alright, greetings and welcome to Drama in the Dirt's Meet the Digger. This week we have a very special guest, a very colorful career, and this person is a gal. This week's guest is Barb Connell, or better known as the Dirt Pirate Barb. Been detecting a long time. We're always glad to get the gals on. I think we've only had 2 on so far. So Barb, I appreciate you taking your time to share with us. Barb has been detecting for many years. She attends many events. She would obviously be declared a detectress extraordinaire. And we'll listen to her bio and share that with you. And then also she sent quite a few pictures of her finds. I truly am very excited, consider it a privilege to be able to share with you her years metal detecting. I would like to encourage you to remember our schedule. You remember that I started crafting my old junk iron into throwing instruments. So that'll be Friday, and that is throwing old dug rusty blades. I kind of get the name mixed up now and then, so you'll want to be sure that you don't miss that. It's mostly axe throwing, but I throw about anything and try to stick it. So, and then of course our regular episode on this coming Saturday. Please make it a point to share the video. I like to see our guests get as many views as possible. I think Loy was up to about 900. So without any further ado, I bring you Barb Connell, or better known as the Dirt Pirate. So here we have the bio, and it is absolutely a wonderful one. You're going to know all about her before we get finished. And she sent last night. She says, I have been a registered nurse for 27 years. Prior to that, I was a paramedic and an EMT. My brother was an EMT. My first patient was my dad. I performed CPR on him when I was 19 years old. That began my lifelong medical journey. My first job out of nursing school was on hematology and oncology floor, taking care of cancer and AIDS patients. I moved to North Carolina in '94 and did oncology for a short time, and then 11.5 years of ICU. Since then, I've worked in the emergency room in hospitals here in North Carolina and also in Georgia. I taught nursing for 12 years and was program director of a nursing program at the local community college for 8 years. I currently work for the Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians as a supervisor and staff educator. That is very admirable. So good to learn that. We'll call you Professor then. I first thought about metal detecting in the 80s when I lived in Florida, but my ex busted that dream. However, I do have him to thank for getting into this great hobby and sport. After getting divorced, I thought I really needed a hobby I enjoyed. I joined a few metal detecting forums and met a guy selling a used Ace 350 for $175. He actually sent it without a down payment. I took it to the local park for a spin. My pinpointer was to arrive the next day. I couldn't find my target without it, so the next day back I went and pulled my first sterling silver ring with a turquoise stone out of the ground within 10 minutes. I was hooked and sent him the money that day. The 350 found me a lot of great finds. That was my first real machine, was a 350. Those things are coin monsters, you know, and silver monsters. They just don't quit when there's something in the ground. Lots of times when I go to an area, I'll run over it with the Ace, especially if I'm in a hurry. I got the big coil on it, and if there's something there, it'll, you know, that double bell tone doesn't give up. I upgraded to the AT Pro within the year. My great niece now has my 350, and we go detecting each June when I go home. However, she likes my Deus better. I probably would too, but I'm on a budget, so I just have to stick with the Garretts. She found her first nickel this summer with my Knox, but it's a tad too heavy for her at 11. My XP Deus is my main machine these days, but I always use my AT Pro at seated hunts. I purchased a Knox 800 this past February, but am still learning it. I'm about to go to my 10th and 11th digging in Virginia this November, where I swing the GPX 4500. I run the Killer Bees headphones with the GPX, the Grey Ghost Amphibians with the AT Pro, and the WS5 with the Deus. I like seated hunts, but love natural ones so much better. I love detecting bullets and other Civil War relics. I have tons of relics, coins and rings, but I love those unique finds and finding something for the first time. I have a lot of those first and only finds. These people that inhabited this area in the 1800s and the early 1900s were dirt poor. My oldest silver coin from the mountains is probably 1930s. My passion is finding Blackwood Lumber Company era memorabilia. I have pounded a small portion of the main headquarters down the road. I have recovered payday tokens, meal tokens, and store tokens, plus 2 Indian head pennies, and a Chinese coin dated 1740 to 1745. I wrote an article for American Digger magazine and won the second place for amateur writer in 2018 for my article in the fall of 2017. What an honor. I certainly would say that, Barb. That's wonderful. I am a guest on Beyond Sight and Sound internet show on Spreaker.com. Each spring and fall we discuss medical topics that metal detectorists need to be aware. We always discuss Lyme disease, as this has personally affected me. Our first show led to listeners going and getting tested and then being diagnosed with Lyme. We discussed all the things that you could possibly encounter while detecting that could be hazardous to your health. We're about due for our fall episode. I have conducted auctions for people in the hobby needing assistance, and last year we held our first Great Metal Detecting Christmas giveaway for kids, ages 5 through 15. It was a big hit, and we gave away 8 metal detectors and a total of about 46 prizes to kids right before Christmas. We will be holding our second one this year, and we are ready in the planning stages and hope to make it better than last year. If you would like to donate any gear, coins, detectors, you can contact me through Facebook. And I see the address there, so I'll need to copy that and see that it's in the show. I am one of the founders of Dirt Pirates Detecting Facebook group, and we hold a Finds of the Month contest and Find of the Year contest. We have over 2,000 members, and it's a great group. Detectees.com sell our shirts. We do not make anything off of them and appreciate the great service Ken and Mark provide us. So, what are my favorite finds? Well, I would say gold coins, jewels with gold. Oh, what are my favorite finds? That is a tough one. I would like to categorize them. My BWL finds Kodiak and really special. Tough dirt to detect in with thousands of nail specks in the ground. My best bullet, a Nestler found in the Fair Oaks Farm in Virginia, made at the School for the Deaf, Verbally Impaired, and Blind. 100% Confederate it is. I have found a lot of firsts in Virginia. An Eagle 1 or 2, an Enfield oil can, my first large scent, my first seated dime, and many varieties of bullets. Yeah, we don't have any in our part of Ohio, West Central, and we don't have any really Civil War stuff to find. Never have found a Civil War bullet. I have met some of the best people I never would have if I hadn't entered the hobby. That is in itself priceless. My aspirations are to metal detect in every state in this great nation before I become one with the dirt. That's a good expression. The other is to detect in England someday. Well, I think we need to start a GoFundMe page for you. So what do I do in my spare time? Well, I make mosaic pictures from old glass wampum and local quartz, garnets, and amethyst stones. I also make jewelry and have a Facebook page. Made by Barb. I also make jewelry from coins and copper. I love creating things and recently took up welding. Well, I'm an old welder from way back. I set my britches on fire one time. You ever have hot slag go down your shoe? Not funny at all. Keeps on burning. Just a warning if you're arc welding. But it needs to cool down before I get back at it and get better. I wish I had started detecting when I was younger. Don't we all? I'm 63, going on 64. But like they say, better late than never. I also have a YouTube channel and hope to expand on it. Yeah, I didn't know that, Barb, that you had a YouTube channel. Somehow I missed that. I include crafting hints and helpers for the beginners. I do have one video on test gardens that can benefit new folks to the hobby. So what do I hope to find in the future? Well, first I need to find a Indian head, IHP, to win a bet with Cody Fisher. We started the bet in January or February of 2018, and neither have found one yet. Biggest joke in the metal detecting world, and many have fun at our expense. I need a 2-cent piece. I can't find one. My biggest bucket lister, a Civil War plate, preferably a Confederate, or any kind. I agree. My name on social media is Redneck Yankee Digger, Diggin' Chick, and Barb Dirt Pirate Connell. And then she writes, thanks. Bunches. All right. Thank you, Barb. That was an excellent bio. I think you covered things very, very thoroughly. And thank you so much for taking the time, and God bless. You know, when I do one of these broadcasts, it reminds me of the old Newhart show when they were in Vermont. The music would trickle off, and then he'd go, "Hi, I'm Dick Loudon, and welcome to Vermont Today." We will be holding out second one year. We will be holding out second one this year. You want to say hi? Want me to leave you alone? You wave. Hi. You goofy dog. She usually climbs on my head. You look like Daniel Boone, you know. Tail hangs right down. I'm going to try to read today at least a 5th grade level. Paco did an evaluation, some testing for me, and they sent it in. They said I'm reading about 5th grade. My biggest problem is my glasses. I don't clean them, and I try to see through them. Yeah, it kind of looks like I'm looking through. Grease. It's probably, nose grease. Well, I don't need to go into any detail about that. That's kind of ecky sounding. Oh, is it on now? I did forget to turn it on. Barb, what I really want to find is a 2-cent piece. Everyone has one but me. Everyone. I've even made it a matter of prayer. And I can't find one. Wow. Call the ambulance for me, will you? I talked to a lady one day at one of the board offices, and I told her about that. And I was kind of like whining about it, that I couldn't find one. And you know what she said? She says, I couldn't get any sympathy. I wanted sympathy. I really did. I wanted a shoulder to cry on. And you know what she said? She says, do you want a little cheese with your wine?